Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. This is your host, Chris, and I have D-Palm on the line. And we are here to review Season 4, Episode 12, Honey, I Shrunk Team Flash. The team battle a meta who can shrink anything he touches. Cecile's pregnancy gives her temporary powers. So look, here's the thing. I know I have been kind of harsh on the show. The last two episodes coming back from break. I'll be honest here. I actually really enjoyed this episode.
I'm not talking to you right now. You know that, right? I want to put that out there.
Why are you not talking to me? What did I do?
No, what I'm about to say.
Oh, goodness.
Everyone who said they were done with this show, the apologies start here. That was a great hour of television.
Yeah, no. I mean, look. This is going to sound funny. They always have flashes of greatness, right? They have flashes of greatness. And it's like, yo, this is what you... No, seriously. Like, this is what I think people want. This is like, if people have a problem with this episode, that's when I go, okay, maybe this is just not the show for you. Right? This is just a time to hang it up.
Like, if you're going to say take the Flash off the board, that's the episode I want.
Yeah, right. This is the episode that I want because, one, you give us a lot, right? First of all, you open up with Harry talking about the Devoe problem, which, again, was one of my problems last week when it was like, yeah, you got...
Like Harry was you, by the way. I was like, oh, so Chris is...
Right.
Now projecting himself into the show.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, and somebody needs to be upset and not think about how stupid that whole, well, we're going for an appeal. What the fuck is an appeal going to do? You think he hasn't figured that shit out? The evidence is the same. What are you appealing? What are your... Thank you. Somebody fucking said it. I appreciate Harry for that one. But yeah, you know what it is to me? I think... and I don't want to debate this. People have, I'll be nice and say, varying opinions of Ralph Dibny. That okay?
And that's fair. This was the perfect use of him.
Well, and that's what I'm going to say. So what happens with this episode is you put the focus on Team Flash. And yes, Dibny's part of Team Flash, but he's the new guy. And the heavy lifting is done by the people we've seen before. And let's be honest here, the better actors. I mean, here's the thing. And I didn't mention this last week. I was like, yo, I miss Joe. I miss Black Fatherhood moments. Like, we have Joe there, but the last, like, not the episode out of break, but last week I was just like, I just felt like Joe was just kind of there, but not really. This episode, like, you got him. I mean, his whole thing with him and Cecile, again, has nothing to really do with the main story. But you see growth between these two characters, and honestly, it was kind of funny. As soon as I realized that Cecile can read his thoughts, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be hilarious."
Yo, and he went full Ed Green with that the reading of the Miranda rights. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
that was some vintage Law and Order.
Yeah, that was a degree.
That shit.
Yeah,
boom. I was like, yeah, motherfucker. Freedom is rights.
So, and I love that. Like, even the callback of them going to the same marriage counselor that Iris and Barry went to. It was hilarious. And then she was reading the marriage counselor's thoughts. It's like,
I'll tell you what, that's the plot line I had the biggest problem with this episode, honestly. Because them coming to be like, it's okay, you can read my mind, is not the place to end that. Oh. That's bullshit. Oh. That's the biggest lie this show's ever fucking told. I'll take a man riding the speed of light. It's okay, your wife can read your mind? Oh, no sirree. I wasn't born last night, motherfuckers. This is ridiculous. She reveals two innocuous truths about herself. See, you don't think differently of me. Motherfucker, no.
So, one, I completely expected that reaction from the newly married man. That's number one.
Am I wrong?
You are not wrong.
Okay.
And then, two... You're right. I did kind of want that to be a little bit more like, and I'm hoping that it goes on. Like, I'm hoping that next week we come back and she's still able to read minds. Like, I'm hoping this is not just over and done with right here.
Man, Joe hopes it's over and done with. The fuck, man. That is, but that was the most stressful part of the episode to me. I was like, I don't care if Cisco and Ralph explode, motherfucker, get back to this woman who can read his mind.
But here's the thing, the whole Joe's look, his face was just perfect. Like,
it's because Denzel Martin's a national treasure.
Oh yeah, yes,
that's what that is.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. So I know I love that. And then even you have Barry in jail. Okay, fine, we take him off the board, but you get a storyline with him, and that. You get a storyline with him that kind of goes into some of the, not problems, but some of the things we know about Barry, which is his whole, especially him coming back this season was the whole hope thing, right? Is this has all this hope and yeah, we're going to get it. And yeah, you're just going to do hope and like basically hope and change is all you're going to need. And you're just like, yeah, Barry, that's a little too ideology. It's just, that's not going to work. That's not how.
But that's the Flash, man. That's what I love.
No, and
that's who the Flash is.
And you're right. So, and I don't want Barry to lose that. Like, I love that Barry was like that, but I also love that it didn't go right. I like the fact that it didn't go the way it was supposed to. And we'll get to the very, very end, but I knew that he was going to do, I knew he was going to break him out. I knew he was going to do that because, again, that goes to who Barry is at the Flash, and I like that about him. So, and I know some people might go.
I love that about him because even before he's the Flash, he's Henry Allen's son.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You know, that's how Barry always was. I mean, you remember we first met him in Star City. You know, this always has hope, always sees the bright side. Oh, like it's just he's that guy who, you know, gets on your nerves because they're always talking. They always see the bright side of something. And it drives you fucking crazy.
Think about this. His two best friends, ergo the people most irritated by him, are Green Arrow and Green Lantern Hal Jordan. That's how upbeat and positive Barry is.
Mm-hmm. So, so I love that.
I love him keeping that spirit in prison. I loved him seeing it not work and be saying like, fuck it, and run the guy out of there.
Well, even before then, the very beginning, when and it didn't play out, but when he switches out his cards so Big Sir, I don't want to call him that, so he has a winning hand, you know, and uses his power. Like it's such a here's a guy who could at any point had broken out of Iron Heights and really wasn't using his powers, but used his powers at that moment to help a fellow inmate cheat at a game of cards where they're betting with pudding. Because the guy feels like he never wins. And he has a bad poker face, so he's always got bad luck. Like it's so ridiculous, but so Barry Allen, right? And I love that. I did. I can't help myself. You give me that, and I'm okay with it. Because you're right. It might not seem right, but if you read any Flash comics, if you go back, shit, I know we have. You know what? At some point, we probably should do a Barry Allen character corner, shouldn't we?
I think as weird as so. What I'll do if we do that, I'll just do like the top 10 weirdest Barry Allen stories.
Yeah, we'll have to do something like that because, like, you know, we
because it's a bunch of goofy stories and then like the death of Iris Allen and the death of the Flash.
Right.
Like it gets really dark really fast, but for a long time it's like, oh, Barry Allen, he's been turned into a blueberry. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, okay, I guess.
But even with Wally, it's the same way, kind of, right? There's this the way the Flashes are like. It's so funny to me because when we did and go back and listen to our Flash, our Wally West character corner, like if you think about it, it's dark as shit. Like,
yeah, what Zoom does?
What beyond just Zoom? Like you remember he takes over as the Flash because his uncle Barry, his mentor, sacrificed himself.
It's true.
You know, it's like
to save the universe.
Right
now, step into those shoes, kid. Good luck.
Right, you know, like everything about he finds out that the whole identity crisis thing. You know, like there are some.
Well, before that. He thinks his uncle came back and it's their worst enemy. It's Thawne.
Right. So the Flash has stories that okay, they're not as dark as Batman, but I mean, they could be, but you'll never see people describe the Flash as grim dark, though, right? You'll never see that. And it's because of the upbeatness of the characters, of Wally, of Barry, and things like that. It's why we've said before why this show is at its worst when it tries to out Dark Arrow, because that's not how these characters are built. That's not how the core of the characters is built. Like, even in their darkest moments, there has hope. So this whole thing of, I knew right when it started that, and them hammer home, because they were not subtle about it. This whole hope thing. Oh, don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. And Barry said, oh no, I'm gonna get you out. He's so positive about it. And I knew it wasn't gonna work. I knew they were gonna find a way to not work. But then when he's like, you're so stupid. Like, you gave me a chance to hope, and I forgot what that was like. And I'm like, see, okay, you guys do get the character. You guys are understanding it, because that's,
even when it goes wrong, hope is still a good thing,
right? And that is the defining characteristics of the Flash. It just is, of Barry Allen, of Wally West, of that entire Flash family. That is what that defining character exists. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm having a rough time tonight. That is defining of the character.
So much recording.
I did so much recording, guys. My tongue is like, I'm dying here, guys. Like, no, seriously, the last week, man. Can I just say, I was like, oh man, got the mailbag out today. We're done. I'm done with Super Tuesday, and then I was like, fuck, it's Wednesday. That means you got to record the Flash, and that means Shannon the Doctor have Black Lightning and Super. Fuck. It literally started all over again. So, sorry.
And anyone who's following my social media knows I'm puppy drunk right now. So
yeah. So
roll over the place.
But yeah. So no, I love that. I've really enjoyed that. And then going back to the team and dealing with Dwarfstar and dealing with that, it was a well handled. It's just a well handled episode to me. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, this was my favorite. And I don't want to say the season. I need to really evaluate, but it reminded me of the strongest this show can be, because is the A plot. They somehow tie the A plot and B plot together in a way that they didn't even try last week, which I really appreciated this week. Having the team's case tied to what Barry asked. I loved Harry's sense of devotion to Barry. He's like, this is the only thing he's asked of us. We have to get this right. And having Harry crack a little under that pressure. He screwed up a bunch. He almost killed his friends. Mm-hmm. It gave us a fun, like, it's funny that they're small. Sorry. I know people, why more serious episodes? Sure, but it's funny that they're small.
No, look. That shit worked. I'm sorry.
It's funny. I'm sorry. Like, if that's not funny to you, like, I don't know what to tell you. That's just plain funny. You know what's also funny? When my big ass get those little room service bottles of ketchup, and I'm like, what do I do? Putting it in my hand. That's funny. Things that should be big that are small are funny. I'm sorry.
Yo, when Iris stepped on Dibny and they had to peel him off just like, why did I step in gum? And it was, I'm like, oh my God.
And they also had Dibny's best line of the season. Great, now I'm Cisco sized.
Right.
I was like, yo, that's mean as shit, but funny.
Yo, Cisco trying to vibe across the room. Look, this shit worked. Like, it got it.
That was funny.
You got just the right amount of Dibny. You got all the rest of the cast doing their own thing and doing it well. You know, you got character development for everybody. You got Harry and his whole thing. You see him. It's like, one, you find out that Harry feels like he dropped the ball when bringing Barry back, and what led to this. And then it distracts him enough that when he tries to bring Ralph and Cisco back, he messes that up. And you can see him like literally call himself dumb. And you got to remember when Harry's back on this Earth because didn't he got run out of Earth too? Something happened. Jesse asked him to leave. Yeah, he was suffocating her, and it's just like, so he had to like he's trying to find like we're seeing Harry trying to find a way to belong, and he comes back. He finds himself messing up. Or at least he believes he's messed up. That he's up against somebody in Devoe who's smarter than him. So now he feels dumb. He's feeling inadequate, and he's now feeling like he's let Barry down, which is why he's been so dedicated and devoted to this, to trying to save Barry. But not only save Barry, but prove to himself that he can help stop Devoe. So it's like you got all of that in this episode, and it was an even. Like, the other thing too that bothered last week was the uneven tones. Right? Hey, if you're gonna go campy. But then also don't get these really serious, dark moments, in the prison that just feel completely off. To me, the entire episode felt even toned. It wasn't too campy. It wasn't too dark and too serious. It was just right.
For me, it was super campy because, like you said, Dibny got stepped on. Harry built an embiggening bazooka. Like, this is a Silver Age comic coming to life. This is the cover's got the Flash with a giant head and a tiny team. Like, this is the Silver Age.
Well, yeah, but it's normal. Like, to me,
it's modernized. Yeah, it doesn't feel. It's not like over the top. As you're saying, it's not over the top Silver Age, but it's definitely Silver Age.
Like last week was super fucking campy, right? Because of I mean, first of all,
because it was the trickster and prank,
right? Yeah. So that's the other thing too. Whenever you do trickster, even when they had Mark Hamill's trickster, it's always campy. It's always super campy, right? And so that's understandable. But the tone, it wasn't an even tone throughout the entire episode with that. Here, it's like all throughout the entire time, it was good. Like I said, even in jail, like when Barry gets, when Harry's giving that speech at the beginning about how they need to focus, they need to get Barry out, that, it's all, he's probably struggling in there, and they cut the Barry, and he's fucking, like I said, he's playing cards with one of the guys who tried to get, the former mayor that tried to fucking kill him,
Yeah, like that was. I was like, he didn't try to kill the Flash,
right? He tried to kill Barry.
He tried to kill Barry out,
right?
Like the fuck, like.
So
I guess it's easy to be magnanimous when you are the Flash,
right? so like they did that, and you're like, oh, okay. So it wasn't the tone in the prison wasn't even as dark as it was last week. Everything felt like it was kind of like, oh well, you know what? Barry's actually doing okay in prison. He's got all the pudding pops. He's good.
Barry's got a lot of reading. Mm-hmm. He just feels like he's really grown. I almost went down the hotel line, but no. Not gonna make those jokes tonight. Got stuff to do.
Barry gonna come out and then tell Iris that if she changed her diet, she won't be menstruating anymore.
Alan's a slave name. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Oh my God.
I'm glad we avoided these jokes. That was a close one.
Yeah. I love what they did with Dwarfstar. That was pretty great.
Oh, all of a sudden it's a supervillain.
So not only that, but so they tie to the A plot, but then they also tie this to the overall thing with Devoe because Harry starts with they started this episode with Harry kind of talking about what's Devoe's plan, what is he doing, what's going on with that, and everybody going, well, we don't really know. We're trying to focus on this, appeal that's never going to do anything. And Harry's like, well, that's fucking stupid. And then the end, he's like, it is. He was right. It's like
I know, but I always feel like it's the CW. And I feel like he doesn't say fucking stupid, but I feel like you feel fucking stupid,
right?
Like,
yeah,
when he says it.
Yeah. And so at the end, he's talking to the team. It's like, listen, this doesn't make any sense. Like, how is all of this stuff connected? And all this, we're finding all these connections. Like, even the fact that Barry's in jail with this, Bill Goldberg's character, and it ties into Dwarfstar, and like he's like, this can't all be coincidence. Something's going on here, and we need to figure it out. I'm like, thank you. You didn't focus on Devoe. You didn't have Devoe. You mentioned him, but you didn't really focus on him. You don't really know what's going. You didn't really move as far as what his plan is. But you see the characters. You see Team Flash going, all right, something is definitely going on here. All of this stuff is connected. There can't be a reason why we keep running into these people at these times and they're tied into this. What is a larger plan? I'm like, thank you. That is how you deal with that. You can take Barry off the board. You can take Devoe off the board. And you can still kind of tell a story that feels like it's part of the main plot. Because now you have me thinking that, okay, these little, forget the last 2 episodes, before break, Barry was taking out all these villains who were newly formed metas from the Speed Force energy, right? So we knew they were all connected, but now it's like, okay, they might be even more connected than just the fact that, like, there might be a purpose for why Barry interacted with them when he interacted with them. Now you have me thinking there's a larger thing here. Now you got me wanting to pay attention even more. That's how you do the story, right? Mm-hmm. So I
couldn't agree more. I think that this is the show refocusing itself.
Absolutely.
And I think that the biggest issue with those 2 episodes that we're talking about, the one after break and the last one, is that they went away from the main story. And for the first time, and you know what, honestly, let's be real, for the first time in probably a year, the main story's got our attention. And I think that's why it was so distracting, because whether we want to admit it or not, we find the main story somewhat compelling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And being taken away from it was kind of jarring. And I think it showed us how much we appreciate the story they're telling. It sounds almost like damning with faint praise, but this episode reminded me why I'm in on the show, why I'm so in on the season.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It was really, really well done, really well balanced. Everyone got great moments. Why are we thinking about Bulbasaur right now? Like, I don't know, lots of questions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, again, as soon as Warden Wolf shows up, I'm just like, okay. Like, earlier in the season.
We all knew what time it was.
Right. I was just waiting for some shit to go down. And, the whole, I had another camera installed on your cell. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to allow that.
I ain't even mad at you, Warden. You got him. Because
here's the thing. You know what I actually thought they were going to do? Like, I thought it was going to actually have, like, one, because, first of all, we forgot to mention this. They had, Cord. They had another Cord energy. Like, so are we going to do something with this? Because,
with what?
Cord Industries. Because we keep bringing this up. We keep coming back to Cord Industries.
Well, we know Ray Palmer was supposed to be Blue Beetle at first.
Right.
It was originally written to be Ted Cord.
Right.
I don't think so. I think this is one of those, here's a continued fun Easter egg.
Got you. Okay.
But I say that with the hope that I'm wrong. Hope that maybe they're doing Blue Beetle, though. At this point, how do you differentiate him from the thing you've given the Atom suit?
True. That is valid. Valid point. Anyway, but when the lady was talking about in front of Core Industries, and they were talking about how they had like speed detection cameras or something like that, that's what I was expecting to get Barry caught, right? And it was just a simple nanny cam.
I'm like, look, man, this is ridiculous.
Barry got caught by a nanny cam, yo.
Barry got caught like a babysitter who steals. Like, what the fuck? Barry got caught like you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, they let me watch their kid, and I go through their drawer sometimes. That's what happened.
But here's the thing: you want to know why I'm not even mad? Because I'm like, fuck. You know what? Barry's that careless.
Barry got stopped by Radio Shack. Like that shit was bought at a Radio Shack that was like a liquidation. Everything must go. Why are you guys closing down? Because we're fucking Radio Shack. Buy something or leave.
Oh my God! I was just
2018.
like,
no one needs Radio Shack. There's an Amazon. That's a great point.
Warden Wolf needs. Warden Wolf was like, you know what? Fire sale. I'm getting all this shit.
So I thought they were going to reveal Worf's metahuman abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't, which makes you wonder, are they going meta with Wolf or they're just going dickhead?
Right.
Seems like dickhead.
I think they're going dickhead. I think we're just going straight dickhead. So,
which is fine because Wolf is also he's a meta dickhead. Like,
I mean, wasn't he using Fallout to power Iron Heights at one point?
Yes.
Yeah. So, no, Ward. No, so I'm watching this. I'm like, I'm just waiting for this to go wrong. And he put it in, and like even the way he said, like Richard Brooks, the way he says is like, yeah, I put the drugs in those pudding pops you like so much. I'm just like, man, how you gonna drug his fucking? You know Barry likes his pudding.
That was evil, just like almost like my pretty. Like I was like, all right, dial it back some. You get it. You know, you poisoned his pudding, you dickhead. Like,
right? Yeah, sure. Come on, man.
How about hey, square up, Warden? Square up. Right. You poisoned me? Square up, Warden. Let's do this.
Why you gotta put it? So, I think that again. You know, and now you start then also have the question. It's like, does any of this tie in the Devoe? Because he then calls Amunet, and we know how she dealt with the, so it's like, where are we going with this?
Devoe got the body from Amunet.
Right. So now I'm like, okay, I can kind of go with this. I'm seeing tie-ins and connections here. Let's do this. I'm all in with this. I'm okay with this. I will say, though, it goes back to more of my agenda. At this point, I'm sorry. Like, I'm saying this now because I'm going to tell you guys that it's not going to happen. Like, I'm with you, D-Palm. I know you're going to tell me it's not going to happen. And you're right. So I'm telling people this now so you can prepare yourself for them to do some dumbass reason for why Barry doesn't reveal his identity to everybody. Because at this point, it's getting fucking ridiculous.
At this point, he doesn't just know. Wolf knows. And so there's at least one shift of Iron Heights guards.
Come on. How? I mean, like... And that's
I'm with you. I'm turned. That's it. Once Wolf knew, I was like, nigga, leave.
We just
leave. Fuck out of here.
So, but I know they're not going to do it. They're going to find some dumb way to handle it so that it doesn't happen that way. And so I'm saying this now so that so I can get it out of my system and so people can be prepared now. So you're not expecting at the end of the season. If it happens, I'll be pleasantly surprised, but I am mentally preparing myself for them to find some dumbass reason why Barry doesn't reveal his identity. But at this point, it's fucking stupid. Because at this point now, Amunet's going to know. And then anybody that she, like, who at this point, you're going to need a list of people who don't know Barry Allen's the fucking Flash. Like... Yeah. I don't know. Like, we'll see what goes on with that. That's the one thing that, the only thing that, again, it's not a negative, but it's one of those things I'm just like, I hope you guys better have some hell of some writing, or I don't know what you're going to do. You better figure some shit out. Cause, I need answers. I need a lot of fucking answers. So, all right, let's get into this email. You got anything else you want to say about this episode?
No, just like I said, really enjoyed it. Just really well done.
Yeah,
excited for next week. And hey, I think that's a Gail Simone creation. Dawnstar or Dwarfstar?
It was. She was really excited about it on Twitter, I believe.
There you go. Dwarfstar in the comic books is pretty much an evil Adam. It's pretty terrifying. Barry is a knife with him.
So I appreciate them kind of going. And now it makes you wonder, do you think Marvel did I know they didn't do it because of this, but awesome timing for the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer coming out this week. And you have Dwarfstar, who's literally throwing toy cars, well, not actually toy cars, but real cars, out of his pocket and then, enlarging them, kind of like Ant-Man did, in Civil War and other things. So I thought that was pretty, just nice timing, guys. Nice timing. So, all right. Here we go. Got an email from Tamika. He says, okay, I finally get why Chris says that The Flash has more problems than Arrow. This last episode was a mess, although there were several times I did laugh out loud. So we're definitely not going to agree on this one, but we'll see what we say here. How is Team Flash not going to be worried about their marquee member being in prison? Even Iris didn't look worried. Again, I think that everybody else is kind of to that one. I think everybody's kind of at the wit's end. They don't know what to do, and I'll give them that. It's not that they don't seem worried, but like, the only thing they could do was do the appeal process, which was stupid, but not going to work. And they still have a city to protect.
It does no one any service for them to walk around being panicked about a situation that they, at the time, cannot affect.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I get you on that one. Cecile's powers are beyond ridiculous. They didn't even attempt to give a good explanation for them. Yeah, but they were hilarious. You're right. And, well, actually, I can think, no, they did. Because they explained that...
They explained that she had the latent dark energy released by her, dark matter energy released by her trimester pregnancy.
Yeah. So, I mean, they did explain it. So I did think they were funny though. Like again, you give me worried Joe face, like the look on Joe's face when he realizes his wife to be can read his thoughts, and he started thinking about pink elephants. Nigga, she's like, "Why are you thinking about pink elephants? Are you blocking me out?" That shit. I'm sorry, that shit was hilarious. Are they really trying to get us to believe that freaking Wells is having confidence problems? He has to have a pep talk from Cisco to be competent. That's stupid. No, it's real. I mean, think about it. Like I can't remember the episode. Cause I think we forgot about it, and it wasn't. I want to say it was a couple episodes before the break. You started seeing the cracks in Wells because the first Devoe kind of told him, was like, "You're not as smart as you think," and then two. Wells realized that it was all his fault. That the way that they didn't double check and he didn't double check and triple check his calculations. Because I think Cisco went to the same thing as well. And so Cisco and himself kind of blamed themselves because they didn't think they got led into Devoe's trap. So it makes sense, you know. We look at as Wells as very confident, but remember, his own daughter doesn't want him around him right now. So you can kind of understand why they would have he would have the confidence issues. And then now this one that she's about to say here, we agree 100. I'm about to agree 100% with you. I'm telling you right now, Flash's powers are nowhere near consistent. How is he supposed to be fast? How fast is he supposed to be now? Fast enough to stop time, but he still leaves a streak. Okay, I can't stand it when they don't play for the same rules they have been giving us in the past. Now, that one I will give you because he does the same thing in this episode again. When he, at the beginning of the episode, when he switches out the cards, when the one dude goes to toss a pudding pop to the former mayor, he basically does the same thing again. He basically almost stops time, switches out the cards, and goes sits down again. And, right, like, I get that they had to go.
Okay.
You said what now?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because if he uses the speed in short bursts, it stands to reason he could do things faster than he would if he was trying to exert his energy over time.
Right.
I'm okay with the no one noticing the streak because, honestly, for my money, at that speed, it's added for us at home with the audience.
Right. And I'm
not okay with the like you said, completely inconsistent way with which they depicted his powers.
Yeah. Like is
he fast enough to run to China that quickly? Really?
Yeah. Like, that's the thing that... Well, so here's the thing with that one. I kind of allowed myself... So, again, going with the inconsistency, definitely agree. Like, to me, the scene in the courtroom essentially almost broke the show. Because at that point, you're like, well, what the fuck? Because that was not just... It's not like just moving the cards in this episode. That was moving two people that fast... having a full fucking conversation, you know, and then going back.
It's the comic problem.
Right.
It's once you have Wally running at light speed to do something, why is there crime in Central City?
Right. At that point.
And then you extrapolate to, wait, why is there crime?
Right.
He moves at the speed of light.
Right.
Why is there crime?
Right. So, but for catching him on the streak, the way I figured it is kind of what Deepam just said. He had to go a further distance. He's taking one guy from his cell all the way to China and then all the way back. And yeah, he's really fast and he could miss out on that one camera, but at some point maybe it was able to catch. Like, I don't know. I kind of worked that out in my head, but you're 100% right. Like, the inconsistency with the powers are ridiculous. Iris, I'm sorry, but she gets on my nerves being leader of the team. She's not qualified, and I'm tired of watching intelligent people listen to her. Okay, it ran over. I love the podcast. You know what? I'm glad we had a black woman say this so that you guys cannot yell at me when I say this. Iris definitely should not be leader of the Team Flash. Like, I get that they did it because they need to get something for her to do.
And that's my only perspective. The fuck else are you gonna do with her?
Well, give her a fucking job. Like, she's had other jobs.
What job could tie her to Team Flash? Let her be there that much.
Have her be an investigative reporter that helps. I don't know what it is, but I think it gives a problem because I think that other people like she's leader of the team, but is she really leader of the team? You know,
I mean, they listen to her.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that her proximity to Barry is what gives her the gravitas to allow it, and that sucks. That's her qualification, but that's kind of where we are.
She's getting grandfathered in legacy. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think this is
unelected appointee.
Well, I think this is, like you said, this is all born from the idea that they and to give them credit here, and for the reason why they do it, and going, you know, with D-Palm's point here is they did try giving her other jobs, you know, earlier in other seasons, and it never really worked out, right? And they just kind of said, "Fuck it, the best way we can handle this is to just have her be full-time Team Flash." But it kind of goes to what we were saying last week when I said about, you know, why. So the thing about Arrow and Flash is, I feel like I was thinking about this analogy. I feel like Arrow is that really good bench player who you know is going to give you a certain amount of points, rebounds, and everything coming off that bench. You're never going to get like superstar numbers, but you know exactly where the limitations are, but it's consistent. Flash is that superstar talent that underperforms sometimes and just gets wildly inconsistent. And I feel like that's what the problem is. Like, I feel like I definitely feel that Flash has a better cast, a better set of actors than Arrow does.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And it makes me wonder if, and I think that because Arrow don't have powers there, and they grounded that show more, they found ways to write things for the cast to do. Whereas with the Flash, they kind of just go with, well, he's the Flash, and everybody just kind of, you know, they're just kind of at Star Labs, even though Star Labs doesn't do anything. Like, you know what? I actually
Victor Garber as a third occasional recurring.
Right. You know?
Like, yeah, there's a lot of talent on that set. And maybe you're right. Maybe they do lean on it too much.
You know what I think they should have done? And it's something that they started doing last season, and I don't know why they kind of abandoned it. It was the whole thing that HR was trying to do with opening Star Labs back up. If you open Star Labs back up, instantly you solve the problem. Because now it makes sense that Caitlin, Cisco, and even Iris would always be at Star Labs. Make them Star Labs employees, have them working. That way it makes sense that Iris is always there. Boom. All of a sudden, makes sense. Like, you now have given them something to do, and now I understand why they're always there and where they're fucking drawing a paycheck from. You know? I think they should bring that back. And I think they will. Because again, I mean, they were on that path last season, and then they just abandoned it. And I don't know why. Because I don't think there's anything major that really happened that stopped it from happening. Do you remember anything that stopped it from happening?
No.
Yeah. So I say they should open, because here's the thing, other thing too, I'm tired of seeing, I don't know if anybody else knows this, and this is, again, at this point, I'm just nitpicking. Thank you for the email, by the way. I'm just nitpicking at this point. I'm tired of that opening scene of Star Labs and it looking like it's half run down. Fix the fucking building, people. Fix the fucking building.
Good point.
It's still got the fucking hole in it. It's been 4 fucking years. It's still got the particle accelerator hole in it. Fix the fucking building. Motherfucking Barry owns the Hall of Justice. And they can't fucking fix the hole in the wall of fucking Star Lab. Come on. You have money for the pipeline, but you ain't got money to fix a fucking hole in the ceiling. What the fuck's going on here, man? So, but I think that's what it is. I think if they I totally understand the idea. It just feels kind of jarring that all of a sudden now Iris is leader of the team and stuff like that. But I think it also is probably the best thing they've had her do. They tried 3 different things with her so far, and I think this is probably the best fit for her. I just wish that it. I think if you think too hard about it, it doesn't make sense. But if they were to open Star Labs up,
it's a show where a guy threw cars at people this episode. Why are we thinking so hard about it?
I'm just saying, yeah,
I'm just saying, counterpoint. Maybe we shouldn't think so hard about it.
Yeah, but this is like, the other. Come on, we also have.
Saying you were nitpicking.
Huh?
You opened it up saying you were nitpicking.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking about the hole in the ceiling. Yeah, I'm definitely nitpicking about that. No, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm nitpicking about the hole in the ceiling. Like that is one of the things that bother. Because it's like, you know what it is? Because they keep using this. They're using the same shot from season 1. And I'm like, I get it. You're saving money, but God damn it, folks. Like, why isn't that building not condemned? The ceiling is collapsing. The fuck are we doing?
Well, actually, they rebuilt this in season 1 because remember, HR last season tried to open it as a museum, so it was fixed. So they're using the same shot, but they're using they changed shots for a while, but now it's back because it was destroyed fighting Savitar because everybody blew it up.
Okay. Oh, you're right. Okay.
I know what you want to do, but I'm telling you.
How is nobody in the city wondering why the fuck is everything always happening at Star Labs? Can we just tear down?
If I lived at 2 houses down on Great Malkin Lane, I'd ask why that building kept getting blown up so many goddamn times. That's an X-Men reference for everyone who's not me or Chris.
Now, valid. Was it the last mailbag where we talked about that? It's like why that we were talking about that. We need to maybe do a show or something like that on how many times the mansion's been blown up.
Okay, so just top of my head. This is hard.
We'll be here all night.
It blows up once in the original series. I can't remember which time it was. It definitely blows up again when Sinister blows it up at the end of Inferno Saga. It definitely blows up again when Onslaught happens. Oh, yeah. It definitely blows up again during Operation Zero Tolerance. It definitely blows up again during New X-Men when Magneto blows it up. Mm-hmm. It definitely blows up again. It gets thrown in limbo at one point. Then it blows up in Messiah Complex. Then they move to the island. Then they move back and it gets blown up again.
Yeah, they blow it up again because it's like
the end of Wolverine versus X-Men.
Yes.
So that's 9 off the top of my head. I stand by all those jokes in that podcast.
But you know what? But here's the thing. You know what the funny thing about that one is though? It gets blown up so many times the characters now reference it in story. That's the very thing. It's like maybe we shouldn't rebuild.
Yeah, maybe we just a traveling circus of a school.
Right. Maybe we should
try something new.
Yeah, try a little new stuff. Try that. So, all right. Is there anything else? I feel like there's something.
Oh, I got me. I'm excited. This is gonna be a good end of the season.
Yeah, no, this got me back. This got me back feeling pretty good about the Flash. I enjoyed that. I look forward to seeing next week. I think this was a good episode. I'm all in for this one, and I think people that were feeling down the last 2, you should definitely go and check this one out and enjoy it. Couple of things here. I sent out a message to everybody who's bought tickets for us for the Black Panther viewing. And we are going to be having the after meetup downstairs. It's at Bar Louie, which is literally right down from the you go up the escalator to go to the movie theater. You come down, Bar Louie's right there at Gallery Place. So anybody who doesn't have tickets for it, who didn't buy tickets, you can still meet us afterwards at 2:30. Go into the Facebook group and you'll see the event is hosted by Justin and 3/5 Podcast. Go ahead and RSVP to that so we can kind of get a good head count of how many people are going to be there because we want to tell the bar how many people are coming, about how many people are coming, how many people to expect so they have enough people to cover the bar and stuff like that for us coming. And, also, I just confirmed with Deepalm what our upcoming character corners are, and I'm going to go ahead and make the announcement now. We have
in for a lot of treats.
You say what now?
So they're in for a treat.
Oh yeah, lots of treats here. So let's see here. Get my list. So we're just gonna. I have more than this because I have some more ideas for movies that are coming out later on in the year. But we're just going up through May. So Lex Luthor will be out this weekend. We already recorded that one. Next weekend we're recording our dual Sinister and Apocalypse episode. We're going to cover both of those villains. March we're going to be finally doing. We've been putting this one off. We're going to finally do our two-part Batman series. So we'll be hitting Bruce Wayne and Batman. In April, we'll be doing Thanos and the Infinity Stones. And then April/May, we'll be doing Cable and the Summers Bloodline. Everybody other than Alex and Scott. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be in for some treats. And also stay tuned because the Comic Book Club comes back soon. This weekend, we're recording Saga. And I'll be making some announcements probably on Instagram about the other proposed. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to say proposed. The other comic book clubs we are going to be doing. I think I kind of have those planned out through September or October. So, but you guys are in some treats there as well. So make sure you sign up for premium, and you can hear. And actually, some of them, because we have so many premium shows now, some of those might actually end up on the main feed. So keep those out in mind. And I'm not going to announce this now, but also talk to Deepom. We have some ideas for some mini Character Corner episodes that you guys are going to really enjoy as well. So we're just going to surprise you with those when those come up. So, yeah, folks. But anyway, subscribe, Super Tuesday Recap, and hit us up on YouTube, youtube.com/MTR Network. So, again, folks, thank you guys very much for listening. We'll be back soon. Peace.